Welcome to Toolbox of Tomorrow, a podcast created by an orchestra of AI tools, with a human conductor guiding the way. We explore what's new in AI and technology, highlighting the tools that can enhance human capabilities and keep you ahead of the curve. From the latest innovations to emerging trends, it's all powered by artificial intelligence.
This podcast is for informational purposes only. The content is generated primarily by AI tools, and we make no guarantees regarding the accuracy or completeness of the information. Please consult a professional before making any decisions based on this content. The creators are not liable for any actions taken as a result of listening. Listener discretion is advised.
Ever wish you could just download knowledge, like straight into your brain?
Oh, yeah.
I know I have. It's like we're drowning in information these days, you know?
Totally.
Research papers, news articles, podcasts like this one.
Right.
It just feels impossible to keep up sometimes.
Yeah.
But what if there was like a way to make information overload a little less overwhelming?
Okay, yeah.
You sent us a bunch of articles about something that might just be the answer of Google's Notebook LM?
Yeah, it's like one of those AI tools that feels like it's straight out of science fiction.
Really?
You know, imagine feeding it all your notes, all your research, even like a whole book.
Okay.
And then instead of you having to like synthesize it all,
Yeah.
it generates a podcast episode,
Well,
a custom deep dive into that material, complete with 2 AI hosts discussing all the key points.
so it's like having your very own AI research assistants
Exactly.
who also happen to be like podcasting pros.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's officially cool.
It's pretty amazing.
But how does it actually work?
So Notebook LM is all about kind of turning information into a conversation. You upload your files,
Okay.
Google Docs, PDFs, web pages, even YouTube videos.
Wow.
And the AI analyzes them, picking out the key takeaways.
Okay.
But here's the really interesting part. It doesn't just spit out like a dry summary.
Right.
It structures the information as a back and forth dialogue between 2 synthetic hosts.
Wait, so you're saying it creates like a podcast episode with
Yes.
different voices and everything?
Exactly. And the voices are surprisingly realistic.
Really?
They use pauses, filler words, even the kind of like conversational back and forth you and I are having right now.
That's both impressive and a little bit eerie.
Yeah.
Like it makes you wonder where AI will go next.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, the idea of being able to turn, say, a dense research paper
Yeah.
into an easily digestible podcast is incredibly appealing.
Yeah, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, really?
People are already using it in all sorts of creative ways.
Like what?
Imagine condensing a lengthy commercialization slide deck into an 8-minute podcast
Okay.
that you can listen to on your commute.
Right.
Or turning like a stack of research papers on a niche topic into a dynamic discussion, just highlighting the key findings.
So it's like having a personalized research assistant who can like
Sure.
summarize and analyze information for you on demand.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What about privacy?
Okay.
Is Google using my notes and research to, train its AI overlords?
Right. That's a question a lot of people have.
I bet.
And understandably so.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Notebook LM only knows what you feed it.
Okay.
It's not connected to some vast database of personal information.
So my late night ramblings about my cat's sleep schedule are safe.
Completely safe.
Yeah.
Your data stays yours,
Okay.
and the AI's knowledge is confined to the specific content you choose to upload.
That's good to know. So it sounds like Notebook LM has the potential to like revolutionize the way we consume information.
Definitely.
But are there any limitations we should know about?
Of course. I mean, it's still an experimental tool,
Right.
and it does have its quirks.
Like what?
For one thing, the audio generation process can take some time,
Okay.
especially for larger files.
That makes sense.
And while the voices are surprisingly natural,
Yeah.
they're still using that generic kind of podcast style.
So no regional accents or Morgan Freeman impersonations just yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
But the team at Google is actively working on giving users more control over the output.
Okay.
So who knows what the future holds?
Right.
They're exploring all sorts of possibilities, like adding different languages, different accents.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
After all, for a tool like this to truly reach its full potential, it needs to be accessible to a global audience.
Definitely.
It raises the question, could this be the future of podcasting itself?
Interesting.
It's wild to think about, right?
Yeah.
What if instead of like scrolling through endless articles or
Right.
skimming through dense reports. We could just listen to a podcast that like distills all that information into a digestible conversation.
Yeah, it's a fascinating possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already seeing the rise of AI-generated content in other
Absolutely.
areas.
Yeah.
So it's not such a leap to imagine AI-generated podcasts becoming like a major force in the audio landscape.
Yeah, it would definitely change the game.
Yeah,
Imagine like anyone with an internet connection and some source material could just become a podcaster.
right.
What would that mean for the industry as a whole?
Yeah, it raises a lot of questions.
Right.
Would traditional podcasters need to adapt their approach?
Totally.
Could we see a rise in like hybrid podcasts
What's that?
where human hosts incorporate AI-generated segments? There's a lot to unpack there.
A hybrid podcast. That's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
You could have the best of both worlds, right?
Right.
The nuance and personality of like human hosts combined with the efficiency and insight of AI.
Exactly.
It could lead to like entirely new formats and listening experiences.
I could.
But it also brings up an important question.
Yeah.
How would listeners respond to this kind of content?
Right.
I mean,
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
yeah, it is.
Would listeners embrace the convenience and efficiency of AI-generated podcasts?
Right.
Or would they crave the human touch, the
Yeah.
connection that comes from listening to like real people
Yeah.
share their thoughts and experiences?
Sure.
It's something the team behind Notebook LM is keenly aware of.
Okay.
They're constantly working on making the AI voices more nuanced, more engaging. In
Yeah.
fact, they're even exploring the possibility. And they were very careful to emphasize that this is still in the experimental phase
Okay.
of personalized voices.
Personalized voices.
Yeah.
So you could theoretically create a podcast that sounds like it's being hosted by, say, you.
Theoretically, yes. Though I imagine there are some ethical considerations to be ironed out
For sure.
before that becomes a reality.
It's both fascinating and a little unsettling to think about.
It is.
But even with all the potential benefits of AI-generated content, it's important to remember that we're still dealing with, well, artificial intelligence.
Absolutely. As
Yeah.
impressive as this technology is, it's crucial to approach it with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Okay.
Just because something sounds polished and convincing doesn't mean it's necessarily accurate or complete.
It's like anything else in the digital age.
Right.
We have to be discerning consumers of information.
Yes.
We can't
Yeah.
just blindly trust any source, whether it's a human expert
Yeah. Right.
or a sophisticated AI.
Exactly.
Right.
Critical thinking and fact-checking are more important now than ever.
Totally.
We need to be able to like evaluate information from all sources
Yeah.
and draw our own conclusions.
So in a way, tools like Notebook LM challenge us to kind of up our game
They do.
when it comes to information literacy.
Yeah.
We need to be able to engage critically with AI-generated content,
Mm-hmm.
just as we would with any other form of media.
Precisely.
Right.
And that leads to an interesting thought.
Okay.
If AI can now generate podcasts based on our research and notes, what does that say about the nature of knowledge itself?
Ooh, that's a good one. It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
If AI can synthesize information
Uh-huh.
and present it in a way that's both engaging and informative,
Yeah.
does that change how we define knowledge?
That's a good question.
Is it less about what we memorize
Yeah.
and more about how we learn to navigate and curate this ever-expanding sea of information?
Yeah, it's a question philosophers have been grappling with for centuries.
I bet.
But AI adds a whole new dimension to the debate.
Right.
Like, if a machine can process information
Uh-huh.
and generate insights,
Yeah.
does that make it a kind of knower in its own right?
Whoa, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if we each had access to a tool like Notebook LM.
Right.
How might that change our relationship with our own knowledge?
That's a good question.
Would we be more likely to explore niche topics,
Yeah.
dive deeper into subjects that fascinate us?
It's an exciting possibility, right?
Totally.
Imagine being able to create a podcast
Okay.
from your own travel journals,
Yeah.
capturing those memories and insights in a new way.
Right. And you don't have to do all the work.
Exactly.
Or imagine
Yeah.
transforming your research notes
Right.
into a dynamic audio presentation
Mm-hmm.
that you could share with colleagues or students.
Absolutely.
That's a great example. Imagine being a student
Yeah.
and instead of just handing in a paper,
Right.
you could turn in a whole podcast episode.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It would make learning so much more engaging and multidimensional.
It would.
Totally.
It has the potential to transform education, research,
Right.
and even personal storytelling. It's not just about making information consumption easier.
Right.
It's about empowering people to connect with knowledge
Mhm.
in a more active and creative way.
Well said. So to bring it back to our listeners, I'm curious,
Mhm.
if you could have Notebook LM create a podcast about anything
Uh-huh.
based on your own notes, your own interests,
Right.
what would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one.
What topic have you always wanted to explore in a whole new way?
That's a fantastic question to leave our listeners with.
It is a good one.
It speaks to the incredible potential of this technology
It does.
to unlock new levels of curiosity and understanding.
Right.
It's a powerful reminder that we are living in an age of incredible technological advancement.
We are?
And it's up to us to use these tools responsibly and ethically
Cool.
to expand our minds and explore the world around us.
Absolutely. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into Notebook LM.
It's been fun.
It's clear that this technology has the potential to revolutionize how we consume, process, and even create knowledge.
For sure.
It's a fascinating glimpse into the future of information,
Yeah, it is.
and we can't wait to see where it leads.
Me neither.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep
Yeah.
learning,
Yeah.
and keep those deep dives going.
See you next time.